Oh,
Hitting
sugar.
the live button.
Okay. Oh my God, this is too sweet. It hurts. Ah!
That good, huh? All right. Well, everybody,
No.
hello.
Sweet.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hump Day Hangout on the Odious Soul. This week we have Mike and Amanda returning with us to discuss the topic of simulation therapy and quantum entanglement. We also have a very special guest making a very, very rare social media appearance. This is Zeshan, the elusive Zeshan. Okay. So anyway, so why don't you guys start off by telling everybody where they can find you on social media? Amanda, you can go first.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Stay Fast and Weird, because why not? That's pretty much it. I don't really do any other social media, and Facebook is like, dude, don't look me up on Facebook. That's it.
All right, Mike, what about you?
Instagram at twistyrider, and I don't do TikTok because I'm not a 12-year-old girl.
Oh, burn.
I feel attacked, asshole.
I feel like I only have like 5 videos on there, but I think my last one hit like 1,000 views. I'm so excited. But anyway, and don't find him on Facebook because he's almost at his 5,000 max, and then he can't have any more friends. After
Well,
that.
I am due for a good purge. So
sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I do it occasionally, like every year.
It helps when you only friend people you know on Facebook. But anyway, so besides that, as for me, I am the Odious Soul, and I am Odious Soul everywhere. Instagram, now TikTok. Please don't follow me there. It's a horrible place. Yeah, IG, Snapchat, even Poshmark. If you want to buy some of my old clothes, you can go find me there. And then Zeshan, what about you? Where can people find you?
Don't find me, but actually Poshmark. You can find me there so I can sell some clothes because I need money, please.
Yeah, she is a college student. She pays for most of it, almost all of it herself. I mean, and she's thinking about moving out, which is great. So yeah, give her money.
Yeah, find me on Cash App.
That's a good one. That's a great one.
It's Zeshan something.
Zeshan something?
Yes.
Zeshan. And there's not too many Zeshans in the world.
Exactly.
Actually, there are a lot of Middle Eastern men, actually.
Yeah, I should actually find that just in case.
Okay. You're going to pull up your Cash App just in case?
Just in case.
We'll put it in the description, so don't worry. Okay. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming to hang out with us tonight. And also just a reminder, super chats are on. Oh, shameless plug for Cash App, just in case. I mean, she is 20, she is beautiful, she's smart, intelligent, you know. I mean, she deserves money, right? And no, she does not have an OnlyFans. But anyway, feel free to use super chat or super stickers tonight. We will read all super chats out loud. So if you want to send something that'll make me blush, feel free to do so, or just something nice to say hi, that'll work too. And just a reminder that if you want us to see anything in chat really easily, because once we get talking, we kind of ignore chat. But if you want us to see anything, just remember, put a @ plus our name. That way it highlights it and it's easier for us to see. So as is a tradition here on the Odious Soul, we always talk about what we're drinking, whether it's water or something else. So what are you people drinking tonight?
Go ahead. You go first, Mike. I went first last time.
I'm drinking some Best Jet spring water because
Would you quit drinking?
No, I stopped at Sheetz on my way home, and I got some Jack in the fridge, but all they had were the little things of Coke. They didn't have the big things of Coke, and I drank it all with my food. So now and I don't want to steal Sophie's because she would yell at me.
So that's okay. You can stay well hydrated. What about you, Amanda? What are you drinking?
So I'm drinking hot apple cider because I'm a nerd and I'm still sick. And I actually did have COVID. And that's a long, funny story that I'm not going to get into because we have a long topic. But I'm drinking out of don't fuck with my energy, which is more important than my apple cider.
All right. So what about you, ZB? What do you got?
I have my water bottle that I occasionally clean.
Well, I feel bad because I'm the only one that has alcohol. And I mean, I do have my seltzer, but I actually am sipping on a little bit of Di-Serona tonight. I know it's not tequila to surprise you, but I felt with this topic, I wanted to be more chill.
I
So,
was very surprised to see a dark drink in your hand.
but it's sweet. Okay,
Same
so
seas.
it is Di Serono and it's not whiskey. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted something warm and fuzzy because this topic can be so much fun, especially with ZV. So, all right. So, as I mentioned, tonight's topic is therapy, simulation theory, and quantum entanglement. So apparently, the Nobel Prize in Physics this year, the winners were awarded that because of some of their experiments and research that they did towards the entanglement theory, which has now been proven, but it goes completely against Einstein's theory of relativity. So I'm going to read to you all watching and here some definitions of what some of this stuff is, just so we all are on the same page, because I know some of us are very familiar with it, like Amanda and Zeshan, but then Mike is like, wait, what's tonight's topic? So I mean, it's cool because this way he gets to experience it and react.
I'm learning.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
give you guys the
learning.
definitions, and after I give you guys the definitions, I want to know what each of your stances are on the simulation theory alone. I'm going to read you a bunch of different definitions, but I just want to know where you stand. What do you think when it comes to simulation theory? Like, do you agree? Do you not agree? Do you think we live in the matrix? Do you think there's no way in hell? Whatever it is. So the definition from Wikipedia of simulation theory is the hypothesis that reality could be simulated to a degree indistinguishable from true reality. So kind of like living in the matrix. Quantum entanglement, also from Wiki, is a physical phenomenon that occurs when a group of particles are generated, interact, or share spatial proximity in a way such that the quantum state of each particle of the group cannot be described independently of the state of the others, including when separated by large distance. Now, if you don't know what quantum is, just in case, quantum is like the smallest things that make up everything. So it's like the atoms, okay? The smallest unit of ordinary matter. And it's subatomical particles, which are divided into two parts. You have the composite particles, which are the protons, the neurons, and the mesons. And then you have the elementary particles, which are the electrons, protons, and muons. So we're talking about really small shit when it comes to quantum entanglement. So where does everybody stand on, do they believe that we're in a simulation? Zeshan, we'll let you go first. What do you believe?
I neither believe nor disbelieve. I think it could go either way.
That's such a freaking politically correct answer. What about you, Amanda?
So I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I don't believe anything is impossible. I'll tell you that right now. But do I wholeheartedly believe we're in a freaking somebody's game console as a simulation? I don't think that's necessarily likely. But as far as like simulate, God, it goes so deep. I could sit here for an hour and explain to you why I believe certain things and why I don't. So it depends on what you would think simulation is. Like, I would think simulation as in, you know how people would say you can manifest anything or you create any reality that you want? Well, absolutely, in a way that's 100% true. I totally believe that. So, I mean, but as far as like simulation, like, oh God, like something like the Matrix, I don't know. I'm worth listening. It's worth listening to, right? I mean, I want to hear it. It's fun to talk about. It's plausible. It's not. I mean, I don't know. It's more fun than anything because we can't prove or deny it. There's no proof either way.
Well, this will definitely be a very interesting conversation tonight. That is for sure.
Oh yeah, because I got a lot to say about everything all the time.
All right, Mike. Well, so now that you know what all this is, do you think we're like living in a video game? Do you think we're living in the Matrix? Do you think all of this is real or simulated?
No.
No to what part? No to the simulation?
Like all of it. I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it, because, like if you come, like, if you're like all, Christian belief and everything and God made us, well then, yeah, then we are a simulation, like his, like, oh, let me make these little humans and see what they do and how they act and, how he evolved and all that good stuff. But Yeah, I don't know. I don't think machines have us tied into little battery trays making electricity for them either, though. So
Yeah, no,
Wait
it's
a
funny.
second.
It's wait, oh, hold on. I haven't voiced my opinion yet. But
Yeah, go
like
ahead, go ahead,
so
go ahead, go
so
ahead.
like when he said about like God creating us and like we're all like and that's kind of where I stand. I think it depends on the definition of simulation. Like, are we talking about like a computerized simulation, or are we talking about potentially a biological simulation? Because I look at my own spiritual beliefs. Like, I believe that souls inhabit these bodies, but I believe that these bodies are biological creatures. And I believe that
Sure.
once this body dies, our souls go off, back where they came from, with the potential to reincarnate, eventually. So if that's the case, then technically this is a simulation for us to be able to feel and smell and taste and experience pain and joy and happiness and orgasm. Somebody mentioned the word orgasm, I think, in the chat. So I'm totally going to use that word now. Sorry, ZB. But so we can experience all that there is to be human, because you can't understand happiness and joy unless you've experienced pain and suffering. It's one of those things. Like, you can't appreciate the good if you don't experience the bad. So if it's that case, then yeah, maybe this is a simulation. But I don't know. There's so many layers to this, and I can't wait to dive deeper. So who wants to start? Amanda, do you want to start us down this rabbit hole?
So he said some shit about electricity and all this. Let me tell you something. The human body is a fucking energy and electricity, Mike. So calm your muffins with all that electric nonsense.
I know that, but
do you though? Do you?
Yeah.
It didn't sound like it.
Yeah, I seen the Matrix. I seen it. And
I'm talking about the damn Matrix. I don't even remember that movie. I love it, but
the machines make us into little battery packs and plug us in and make us think that we're living this life while they slowly drain our energy.
That sounds like Inception, if I remember that correctly. I don't remember.
I thought it was really fun in people's heads and like changed things. And
I feel like it's in all movies, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really watch movies.
There was a dude. Okay, there was a dude. He actually is still alive.
Was his name Old McDonald? Did they have a farm?
No, his name is Hans.
Quack, quack.
Hans Maravik. And he actually wrote a book in 1988 called The Mind Children. And he outlined neural substitution, because like we have all this stuff going on in our brains. And he said that if we can replace like all the neuron things that are going on in our brains, we could.
I think someone mentioned this guy in the comments.
Really?
Yeah.
Hans. But yeah, so like he mentioned that if we could replace this with electronic replications, we can easily move somebody's consciousness over into a computer, so I mean, that is kind of where we're heading to. Like, that's kind of what people are trying to do or want to do. Like, how do you take our consciousness and move it to something else? Because something that I've watched a lot of YouTube videos trying to prepare for this, and they all cover the same things. They cover the same basis. There's like this one guy who comes down to like three questions. Either when it comes to simulation theory, what is it? That humanity will not reach technological capabilities to be able to simulate like all of this stuff. Because you got to think, we're not just simulating, one consciousness. Like I'm not the center of the universe. We're duplicating the consciousness of like 8 billion people on this planet and everything that's happening around us. So either humans will not achieve the technology to get there, or we will achieve the technology to get there, but we will choose ethically not to do so, or we'll achieve the technology and we just will go ahead and do it. And then they factor this out mathematically to where we have a 1 in a billionth possibility that we're not a simulation. Like, to me, that's just, it's bullshit. There's so many more elements to this.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Everybody, and I'm reading the comments too, everybody's suggesting that it's a civilization like ours creating the simulation. So, I mean, I think we should just knock that one out of the park real quick, because if we're the simulation, we are not the civilization creating the fucking simulation.
Well, but that's the thing. Is it future selves of ours that came up with the technology to get us to the place that we're having the simulation? And you can feel free to jump in at any time, or is it some other civilization that created us, or is it God that just decided to fuck with us? I mean, but then again,
Sure.
whoever created us is our God, right? I mean,
So
technically speaking.
so yeah. So like you were going on with this like spiritual part. So I've always had like, not always, I've had this notion a little bit with myself, like if this was a simulation thing, it's like, how you have the higher self. So your higher self, this soul or whatever, they're like, yeah, we're gonna sign this contract and be this bitch on earth because I got some shit to learn, right? So now I've signed this contract to be in this fucking life I've had so far, and it's been great up until like a year ago, right? Or no, it's been horrible until like a year ago. This last year's been wonderful, but yeah, so it's a year contract to learn all these lessons, blah blah blah. So you're like these higher beings of sorts, and you have all these like soul contracts with other people or some shit, and you're just like, yeah, I've known this person all my life, and I don't know why or how, kind of thing. Like that's how I think of it when I think simulation. I don't necessarily think like video game or Matrix or like, so other people have different versions of what they think of that, or different like religions or different like spiritual communities, or like, that's what I'm saying. So like, I forgot where I was going with that. My brain just went blank.
All right, well, ZB, say something.
Say something. Well, I guess to like start, when I think of a simulation, I think of like simulated reality. So like in my economics class, we did like a simulation of a market where we had like trades and bids to kind of like learn information and basically demonstrate what the market price would be. So whenever I think of a simulation being like on this grandest scale, there has to be like a purpose behind it. So if a civilization would want to make a simulation like us, it would probably be to like see what kind of routes we would take like technology wise, and see like how we would put off different threats. So like,
is that truly what you believe? Because like when I think of us as human beings are very sexual creatures, and if somebody is watching our every moves, they must be a bunch of perverts. I mean, seriously, like what drives most human beings in one way or another? I mean, even the politicians, like they hide it very well, but then like how do they get blackmailed and then exposed? I mean, everybody has sex, everybody masturbates. If somebody is watching us, I think it's for very perverted reasons.
but our sexual desire is because of our desire to survive as a human species. Even like if people are like depressed, even if people want to like kill themselves, at the end of the day, we still want to survive. It's our natural instinct. That's why we do everything.
And even if we are depressed, we tend to want sex more, don't we?
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's trauma response too in some ways. Trust me. My horror tour was a trauma response, no doubt.
Well, I mean, but if they want to watch how we do with technology, they would have to have an advanced technology anyway that's well beyond our capabilities. Why would they want to watch our process on that?
The way I like to think of it is like right now we have amazing computers that can do so many things. And right now we also have like basic quantum computers, which are like little baby things that can't really do much right now because we're just developing it. So what if there's like other kind of computers that we haven't even thought of? Well, if we just start working on them when we're an advanced civilization, we would still be in our baby stages because we're not very like adept at using that yet. But what if there's other civilizations that skipped our computer version, skipped quantum computers, and already jumped to the other form of technology? Then they already like developed it a lot. Like how in the 1900s,
but if they were that advanced in certain areas, wouldn't they have filled in the gaps? Wouldn't they be somewhere farther along than we are?
Not necessarily, because think about like in the 1900s, Henry Ford, he killed the electric car. We already had like steam powered cars and electric cars like in the process, but we kind of killed it because Henry Ford kind of funded and invested in gas vehicles.
Electric cars, by the way, is totally gonna be a rant. A rant for another.
I know Mike right now is like,
I agree with Mike on that.
He's like, I can tell he's super excited that you brought up, all that.
EV.
But okay, so
so if we invested the amount of time we have into gas powered vehicles right now into like electric vehicles 100 years ago, don't you think our electric vehicles would be at a more advanced place like how our gas vehicles are? You say no, but like imagine gas vehicles 100 years ago. They were pretty like wimpy, right? They were pretty sucky.
How did they have, how are they going to do batteries and like?
Well, they could. Well, so like then? We just now got
lithium.
Yeah.
But did they have that way back when though?
Well, lithium
they didn't even know what it was. But
yeah,
like so one, electric cars are not the future. No, you can't. All you're doing is like, oh, let's have one
Wait,
terrible
wait.
thing for
Hang
where
off
it's
the
your-
electric car.
you're just-
Save this for another
Sorry,
day because I want
sorry.
to do this too. I
Going-
love you, Mike, but
sorry.
stop.
Sorry.
Stop.
All right. Okay. So I have some things. Okay. So has anybody ever done inhalants here? All right. Like I like everybody knows I came from a really creative, crazy kind of past where like I have nitrous, probably I might have huffed some propane off of the gas grill thing. So if you ever do inhalants, you get this wah wah feeling. Like I hope you've never done this and I hope you never will.
I'm
But like
insane.
it doesn't matter what inhalant you do, like you end up with the same wah 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 wah, and it feels like you're experiencing the same thing over and over again, no matter how many
I got
times you
that
do
from
it.
jet fuel, but
You feel like you end up in the same place. Like I feel like with all my different drug experiences, whether it was acid or mushrooms or just weed or cocaine or I sound like I have a lot of bad drug experience, but like I
We've all
feel
been-
like if we were in a simulation, especially a computerized simulation, I feel like if you would take substances and get really messed up, you would be able to see glitches. I feel like you would be able to.
Plato's Cave.
What's
Have
that?
you ever heard of Plato's Cave?
That is.
He
Go
was
ahead.
like Plato was like this Greek philosopher, and he like had this story that described how he thought about the universe. And it's basically like a cave where like we're all like lined up in the cave and we're staring at this wall and we're shackled. We can't move out of these chairs. And there's lights behind us and puppets behind us, and they make a shadow onto the wall. So all we know in our universe is these shadows of these puppets. But then one day a guy breaks free and he sees the lights, he sees the puppets, he goes outside the cave and he sees, light, he sees the actual world. So Plato basically thought that everything we see in this world is like a shadow of what's actually there.
Yep.
So that's essentially like people have driven onto that to say like drugs could expand you, like break your shackles so you could see more.
But that's the thing. I don't feel like I feel like they make me see more, but I wouldn't say anything that I've ever seen, has led me to a place where I would think that I'm in a simulation.
Have
If
you ever tried
anything,
DMT?
I have. And if anything, it's made me feel like there's another level I need to get to that like is like a different dimension or a different plane than where I'm at. But I would not say it proves to me. I would say if anything, it proves to me that there's an alternate reality that we can't see on this level, but it doesn't prove that we're in a simulation or in a computer program.
But it doesn't disprove it.
Well, I
Devil's
mean,
advocate.
how do you disprove it?
You can't. Just like you can't
can't.
disprove God, even though I don't believe in God, and you can't disprove it. So I give people their religious freedom. I mean, I don't give it to them, but I respect it rather. A better choice of words.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like something like that, something like the drugs, or why did they even give us drugs in a simulation? Why did they let us feel different ways?
Why do we do anything? Life's weird. That's why I just go with the flow. And then talk about weird shit like this because it's fun.
I mean, I will say that there is one good thing if we are in a simulation, there is one good thing about it. Because then everything that goes wrong, we can blame on it being a simulation. Every time I forget something, I can blame on the simulation. Like when I go downstairs and I forget why I went downstairs, I can be like, damn, there was a glitch in the matrix. So I guess like if there is a simulation, like there are some cool parts of it. Like I can completely blame a lot of stuff on that, on computer glitches.
Word. Well then how do you explain things like the Mandela effect or oh god, there's so many other different like little
Well, in
things.
deja vu, yeah.
Deja vu is different. That's a psychological thing. That's a neurological thing.
Well,
Deja
but
vu
see, that's the thing. If we're on a simulation, then neurological responses don't actually matter.
I beg to almost differ. I just do. Because neurological stuff, like, is that a lot of things that happen neurologically are genetic. Some of them are, well, of course, a lot of it is environmental. What's in your environment, your trauma responses.
But if we're in a simulation, that's all programmed. Then none of that actually matters or makes a difference. Then you are programmed to be the way you are. It's not neurological responses. It's not environmental. It's your programming.
That exactly goes with religion too, where people are like, well, it was God's will. God planned this already. This is why I don't believe in fucking Christianity.
That's not necessarily
it's not necessarily true.
No, because like when I think about like when I'm like writing code, like there's a lot of if this then this. So what if our personalities are basically a lot of like if this then this, but with our environment? So like if the environment is like hot or cold, like we already have those responses to like stuff like hot and cold. What if everything in our environment's like that? So basically like the nature versus nurture argument. What if part of its nature, like programming and simulation, and part of its nurture, like how our like code reacts with the environment?
Well, that
Absolutely.
would still be all algorithm based and not necessarily neurons. It's not necessarily like your receptors and all that stuff in your brain. We're talking, it's still about algorithms and computers.
I mean, what are receptors though, but like kind of sensors, and then just
I mean, they are. Our brains are very much computer-like.
yeah.
But it would make you reevaluate exactly how you are and how you behave. I mean, I know myself this past year, well, past like several years, I've evaluated why I feel certain things in certain ways. Like,
well, what did you feel like you went through? Did you feel like you went through a spiritual awakening where you're outside of yourself? Because, so let me ask you this. Now, personally, I believe
like on the DMT.
No. I'm talking about just in general. So for me, I don't see the brain as part of my consciousness, right? So and I've read several books about this as well. The Inner Work's actually one of them. So neurologically is not who you are, right? So like your consciousness is something totally separate. So you're able to take yourself out, like third person almost, and look at yourself and identify things. And I've been doing this shit myself, like, and analyzing why you do what you do and making those changes. A lot of people cannot do that. They have voice in their head, or some people actually don't, I found out, which is so fucking weird to me because I've always had voice in my head, like myself, not voices. Okay, let's separate that. I'm a little weird, but I'm not crazy. Okay, but like
you're weird, but not that weird.
Listen,
maybe just a little crazy.
I'm a fun time, but I'm not crazy. But I mean, I'm able to look at myself from the outside, so to speak, and analyze the things that I do, how I do, and what I do, which is why I've been able to fix a lot of my traits or how I react, or you know what I mean? So I could be a better person in the way I think a better person should be. So, and then kind of control my emotions a lot better, because I'll tell you what, ADHD has no emotional regulation. I fucking suck at that, right? So, but I've become so much better over the last 2 or 3 years. But yeah, so all in all, consciousness and brain separate. Neurological and fucking consciousness separate. I refuse to see them as the same. It's just a lot of people don't know how to separate. And that's what they consider the spiritual awakening, if you will. We can get into Columbia awakenings, but I don't know really a lot of shit about that. That shit's weird, but I'm willing to learn, I guess. I don't know. It's a thing. I don't know. Yeah, I just got the double look from mom and daughter. This is getting weird.
I just wanted to see if she was going to say anything. That's all. Like do you have any follow up to that, ZB?
Do you?
Mike, do you have anything to follow up to that?
I don't think you can follow up to that. That was I don't know, that this whole topic in itself is not. I knew nothing about this coming in. I didn't do any studying for this one. Like I couldn't remember what it was called until I texted you at like 5:30. Like, what's it about again?
I know. I yelled at him. I said I was going to throat punch him for not remembering.
Yeah. But I mean, that's perfect though, because then you get to give like your real-time responses, because this is what happens. ZB will come into my room and she'll say something, and then like we start talking back and forth about it. And I love that, because most of the time, like, she's smarter than me. She's going to school. She's well more educated in so many different areas. And I love the fact that no matter like what side I take, she's willing to take the other side just to have a good argument. You know,
Absolutely.
like sometimes, like I remember our flat earth argument.
So when I
remember
said
that,
something
but-
about this, I was like, what, does she believe in like flat earth too? And she said that you had an opinion on that as well.
Wait, I don't remember this.
You completely argued that the earth was flat.
Listen,
I don't know, a couple years ago, I think probably while you were at Virginia Tech. I don't know. You were like, but she didn't say that she thought it. She's like, but the evidence to support it. And it was
she's playing devil's advocate. You know what? That's a fucking skill in itself. That's to be proud of, that she can argue a point that she may not believe in. That's
yeah,
incredible.
no, I mean, and that's something that she got from her mother, you know, because there was this woman growing up. Her name well, she's still alive. So Susan Blaney, and her and I would just go back and forth. And no matter what side I took, she would take the other side just to argue and debate. The only time she won't do that is she's very liberal. So she will never take a Republican or conservative viewpoint on anything, but anything else. Otherwise, she would argue. And me and her would just bicker. And we actually call her like, what is she? My should have been mother. My mother that should have been, or whatever. But yeah, so I love that I have a daughter that I can debate without emotion with, because that's so important. It's so important to be able to talk to somebody and debate your thoughts and come up with possibilities and stuff without being emotionally attached to it. I think that's something that society, like you look at social media, you look at everybody and they'll fight back and forth over the stupidest of things. But, you know, when you can have an educational conversation and be open to have your mind influenced in a non-emotional way, it's amazing.
I wish I had that with my daughter, except my daughter is 13 and she's an asshole. I mean, respectfully so. She's funny and it makes me laugh, but she's such a dick. Oh my God, she is. But it's the age. I was the same way, except she's wittier than I was. She's smart. She's a dick, though. Love her. But I can't have those debates yet. I can't even do that with my mom. My mom gets like too emotional, like angry.
You know what's really funny? I saw a TikTok today, and do not yell at me like I see TikToks now. I hate that I see TikToks, but it was really funny. It was a dad saying something about how like his daughter was like freaking out on him, basically, and he looked at her and he was like, you know, like something about like, wow, like the attitude or whatever. She's like, if you got a problem with my attitude, you know, you should file a complaint with the manufacturer.
I do that regularly. It doesn't change anything.
I thought it was hilarious. I was like, I need to save that for my memory bank at some point, because you know, because our kids are a product of us, whether they like it or not. Huh? Yeah. She loves being told she's like her mother.
Dude, my daughter.
See, this is the Taurus. She won't say anything back. She just was shut down.
My daughter is like a carbon copy of me, and like I said, she's a bit wittier, which is scary. Same attitude and everything, and I'm just like, what? Why? My mom was right when she says you get it worse than, you know what I mean, when you have your own children. She wasn't wrong. My son, fucking angel. My daughter, no.
Maybe it's something about the second born children just being amazing.
Yeah,
I got lucky with you. All right, so let's go back to this stuff. So let's talk about sleep. So I was thinking in a simulation, like, why would we need sleep? But obviously, if we're just trying to come up with, if we're trying to be observed, you know, for reasons,
why do we need sleep?
But no, I'm just saying, like, if we're being observed, we have to replicate actual human behaviors, but you need sleep. But when you expect,
but what's human
behavior? If we were in a simulation, don't you think the dreams would be better?
No, that's part of, like, I would think, okay, I'm gonna pretend I believe simulation's 100% a thing, because again, I don't 100% believe it, or really much at all. But you said we have to pretend to be human. If we're a simulation, like, human is the simulation. Let's be real. So, like, we don't know what would be normal. We just know what we've been doing all this time. Why we need sleep? We're in fucking meat suits that get fucking tired and shit, nervous system and all that shit. I mean, I don't know. Like, come on now. I mean,
but if you're in a simulation, if you're in a computer simulation, then our meat suits aren't real. They're just a simulation.
My theory on what simulation is compared to, because computer simulation is like what people think of when they think simulation, but I think simulation isn't thought of as that by people who actually have come up with that theory. You know what I mean?
If it's you know, human, if it's
shit.
humans that like made the simulation, you know, they must need sleep. Because if you look at like video games, you know, they still have to, you know, even way back to like, you know, like Zelda, you had to stay at the inn so you could recoup your health and magic and all that crap. So
don't ever bring LOZ into this. It's my favorite game ever. Also, we didn't have fucking computer games or game systems fucking thousands of years ago. So where the fuck did all that shit come from? Where did that just like we just like advanced
from the aliens that helped us made the pyramids? Duh.
Okay,
Yeah,
don't
I
get
mean,
me
honestly,
started on
we
aliens
don't
either.
know. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, and that's another question I have. When did the simulation start? So I know that I'm the center of my universe. Did my simulation start when I came out of my mother's vagina? Is that when my simulation started? Did it started when I actually developed a consciousness and a memory, like when I was like 2 or 3? Or did it start at the beginning of human civilization? Like, so when did the simulation actually start? Like, my thing is if this is a simulation, is it just me being simulated? Is it just my consciousness, or is it all 8 billion people on this planet being simulated? So how do I know if this is a simulation? How do I know that you're a conscious human being, or if you're just a computer simulation to help me progress in my conscious path?
So it's funny that you bring that kind of thought up, because my mom would always say to me when I was like growing up and we would have weird conversations and stuff. She would always say, she was always interested in psychology as like a teenager or whatever. And she'd be like, how do I know that, for example, if we both look at the color pink, we're seeing the same exact color? We just know it is pink together, right? But it could be orange for me and fucking blue for her, but we're
It
both
could be
calling
like
that
that
same
dress that
pink.
was yellow or
Fuck that
blue.
Oh man, no, but like, I mean, even still, like you said, you're the center of what your universe is, which is absolutely true. We're all the center of our own universes. So my thought on top of my mother's thought, that kind of, this is her fault that I think this way now, is how do I know what I am experiencing? I'm having my human experience, whatever that may be. It's been fucking terrible. Okay, it sucks, but okay, I'm not a depressed, angry person, I swear. But like
just tonight,
yeah, right. But that's, I mean, I get exactly what you're saying. Just like, I guess in my own words, is like, how do we know that everybody around us isn't a fucking simulation, or like somebody that's fake? Or how am I'm having this podcast with my friends, but are you guys my fucking friends? Or are you guys put here to fuck with my life? Like, I mean, in a good way, maybe, because it's positive, right?
But that's
like, are you guys
like, this whole simulation thing brings all that into question, so, like, is it just you, or is everybody in this whole game together?
Are we like playing fucking bumper cars with our bodies?
Well, I mean, because
like,
if you look at video
here?
games, like when you play a video game, you have the option of, playing by yourself, or playing with the computer, or playing with your friends plus some cute computer people. Like, you have these options. So like,
they're not all.
And what I'm experiencing is my reality. Like, if this is a simulation, how do I know everybody is a consciousness has been uploaded to a system like me, assuming that I am a consciousness that's been uploaded to a system? So like, that kind of thought just blows my mind a little bit.
The whole thing blows my mind, because you can go into so many different branches of thought and so many different like what ifs or theories, conspiracy, all sorts of different things. Like, it's endless. It's really endless, and we're never gonna know. We're never gonna know. Like I said, I don't really put a lot of thought into it. It's really just one of those things where I get high with my friends or drunk, and we talk about it, and it's funny and fun. Or I think about it in bed when I can't sleep, and I'm like, holy fuck. That might be legitimate. Or, watch all the documentaries in the world because I'm a fucking nut, right? But it's so vast, the amount of thought you could put into this theory. But again, like I said, I don't think of it as a computerized thing. If it were to be a thing, I think of it more of a spiritual thing, where like, you guys were here to teach me something, or to show me love as friends, or like, I had to go through this shitty fucking marriage I went through for 5 years to learn more about myself, and to give myself the initiative, and to fucking do things for myself, because I never did things for myself before I started riding and all that. So it's like, shit, like, man, I learned some fucking lessons, and we're all here learning lessons. Some of us aren't, you fuckers. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's how I see it, is like, it's more of a, I don't want to say spiritual, because I'm not religious or anything like that, but like, that
You can be spiritual and not religious. That's
I understand that, but I hate admitting that I'm spiritual too. So, because I've been an atheist and fucking hateful about, not hateful, okay, that's strong, but like, I've been so against all that stuff all my life. Like, no, there's nothing. We're just humans. We go in the ground, we die. Put me in the ground where I'm fertilizer, or burn me. I don't give a shit. Like I think the whole idea of cemeteries is fucking bullshit. I hate that everybody goes in the ground and wastes space. Like, I think it's dumb. But that's another story for another day.
Because I feel like you need to say something.
No, I feel like you need to say something.
No, I feel like you need to say something.
Mike's been awfully quiet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel
I've
like
talked more than you.
Oh,
yeah.
thanks.
He's talked more times. You said more words, but he's talked more
Okay.
times.
I'm going by word count, Mike.
Woo. Wow.
I'm only allowed 200. I'm only allowed 200 spaces down here. So
Oh, snap.
Oh, that's right. He's got the wiener, so he's not allowed to talk that much.
I don't know. He's holding the talking stick. We don't have a talking stick. Okay, so here's something I'm going to bring up. Like, so this is something that I kind of wrestle with in my spirituality, kind of like that we are on a pre-planned path. Okay, so like if we're on our path, it's pre-planned, like everything's already been destined. And I think a lot of this stems from my religious upbringing. But then as I've gotten to more of a spiritual place, I kind of feel like everything happens for a reason. It's kind of the thought process that I've adopted. So what if our path is pre-planned? I do know that, sometimes I feel like the universe or God will knock us back on track. Like sometimes we'll veer off and it's like, oh no, motherfucker, get back on there. I say like a warning on a speeding ticket is like the universe pushing you back.
If everything's pre-planned, then there is no track. Like you can do whatever you want. And ultimately, it's gonna end the same way, which is death. But
well, we're all gonna die, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all die anyway.
Like,
so I mean,
fucking do cocaine off the strippers' butts. Let's do it. We're gonna die. Who cares? Let's do it.
But that's what I'm saying. But then what happens is you end up in the hospital like one time because you OD'd, or you end up losing like a leg in a car accident because you were so fucked up. So like I believe like you have a path. So even if you try to mess up and you try to do bad things and you try to get off that path, like the universe will send you knocks. Like, so like, I think like when you get pulled over for speeding and you get a warning, that doesn't mean you can keep speeding. That means the universe is saying, okay, you need to slow down. And then if you
why do we have people who go through tragic events then? Like 9/11 or like serial killers.
Or like losing my daughter. It's just because there's like some of the bigger events are there are more meanings behind it. Like those are bigger life lessons. Those are the bigger learning experiences. But here's the thing. If I believe in this whole like pre-planned path, because like, when you meet somebody, like, if like most of the time when I meet somebody, I know if they're going to be in my life for the rest of my life. Like I can tell you from the moment I meet them, if I'm going to keep them in my life. Like it's just no doubt. Like I can tell you if somebody's going to be disposable or if somebody's going to remain in my life for forever. Like I can tell you that. And it usually ends up being very true, which is kind of freaky. But what if I do believe this, then how can I not believe in a simulation? Because wouldn't a simulation be the same thing?
Really? I would think that a simulation would be the opposite. Because if I were to conduct a simulation, I would do it because I want to see what would happen. I wouldn't want to plan the simulation.
It's an experiment.
Telling the story. And why would
it's more of an experiment.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I would want to make an experiment to learn something if I was going to put all my energy and efforts, probably resources and money, if they're anything like us.
But you're assuming that's the why for the simulation.
Well
I'm
no,
assuming
because
that's
we
a pretty big why.
You guys,
why do we conduct any simulation? Like,
but you're assuming that the simulation is an experiment. Yeah. There are other reasons for simulations.
Let me tell you this. Everybody's compared simulation to game. So game can be played. I could play Legend of Zelda, and I have several times the same ones. I've played Ocarina of Time probably like 10 times easily. I loved that game when I was younger. I've played it different every single time. Same game, same parameters, same fake people, and I've played it differently every single time. Same outcome, similar goals, but it's different every time I play it. Like, as in, like, what I'm doing is different. I created my own different reality each time I play it. Simulation, still different.
All right. Well, here's a thought I want to throw out here, because this is something that I thought about today. Like, because when I was thinking about the why do a simulation? Why? But then I got to thinking, why are we talking about a simulation theory? Like, why is this a big deal? Why are they giving us all these scientific and mathematical equations? Why are they trying to convince us that we're in a simulation? So we are getting to a place, to a precipice in our technological advances, that the possibility of this happening on some level, probably not a level to support 8 billion people and all the variations and everything we'd have to compute now, to recreate this entire world. But what if we are getting to that place? This world is controlled by who? Like the 1% of the 1%, right? Super rich dudes, very powerful people. What if they have figured out a way to upload their own consciousness to a computer, to the cloud? Okay. 5G, bro. Okay. Just joking about the 5G. But what if they found a way to upload their consciousness, and they're trying to prepare us to upload ours? Because what happens, like if they upload their consciousness and they become immortal, because that's basically what'll happen. Because right now, what is the one weakness of every billionaire and everybody that has ultimate power? What is their weakness? One day they're going to die, right? Like it's inevitable. We're all freaking humans. We have not learned how to live forever. You know, I mean, some of them are old, very old, but still. So, but what if they are able to figure out a way to upload their consciousness to a computer? And if they get enough people to join them in the computer, then we all live inside these computers and they retain their power. What if? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what would be the point of that? Like,
someone just
like
said
what would they gain out of that? Like, okay, now we're in the cloud, you know, where they, you know, are they, is it gonna be like, is the cloud Grand Theft Auto? We're gonna like be in there, like, you know,
I'm sure the billionaires
bazooking
out in the world are
hookers
not
and-
going to want Grand Theft Auto, but I mean, it's potential, because I mean, if you're poor, you may not have like the big fancy, you know, virtual reality mansions and like the worlds that they're creating, you know, like it's very possible that it will be something like, you know, there will be like the bottom feeders and the game, you know, the simulation. But just what if it is a way to, you know, control and, you know, just to have us to kind of plant those seeds so that when we get there, we want to be a part of the simulation. We want to live in the better world. We want to live in the pretty clean place. We want to live in the place that's you know, being controlled, you know, because what the majority of the people think is, I mean, whoever controls the majority of the thought controls everything, you know. Sure. I don't know. It was a thought that came to me today. Like, what if, you know, because I hear like Nielsen deGrasse Tyson talk about how he has not heard like a good argument against simulation theory. And
wait. You went to Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, I watched a couple of his videos.
Listen, Linda, that guy, he's got some problems.
Dude, but I love him.
I think he got caught up in like, God, I can't remember there's like some oh my God, why can't I think of what it was? There's like some drama like around him.
Dude, who cares? We all have drama. Like, he's not
I
like
think it was
God.
like a pedophilia drama, which is why I'm like, what the fuck? But I don't really know. I don't remember. I could be wrong. Don't.
Are you sure you're not messing him up with like R. Kelly or something?
Oh God, hell no. Oh my God, no. I heard it on. Okay, because so I listened to this podcast. It's called "That's Why We Drink." You would love that, by the way. And they were talking about it like months ago, and I was like, oh, that's great, because that guy's pretty neat. I thought, and now I'm curious. But
wait, hold on. We have somebody who wants to call in, apparently. Okay, go ahead. Dustin, call me back. I'm assuming that's what it is.
So when I'm gonna just make a note real quick. So when I was talking about quantum entanglement, when I first originally brought this up, and he told me no, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I actually meant like teleportation, by the way, when it came to the Nobel Prize.
Oh wait, here, hold on. Dustin's calling, so I don't know how this is gonna work, Dustin, but we're gonna try this. This is hilarious.
I have so much to put on you on this.
Wait, hold on a second. Can you guys hear him okay?
Yes.
I can hear it.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me? All right. So the simulation theory, it breaks down into things not being in a chronological line, like a string theory, because then you're talking about things in like knots.
Linear.
Instead, it's more of a blanket theory. So it's more of almost dimensions on top of dimensions. And if you want to break down into like what the reason for it is, I think it comes down to more of like an alien species of trying to figure out how far humans can advance. Because if you give like a gorilla a cell phone, they're not going to understand what to do with it. So even if like things beyond our comprehension exist, we are not to that level that we would even understand what that means. If someone handed you a device that could cure cancer, it means nothing to you because you don't know how to use it. So I think it's just a rewash. Like, think of all the times that like full civilizations have been wiped out. Like, you go back into Rome, you can find plumbing, government, proper ways to deal with various just day-to-day things. And then you go back into a couple hundred years later into the Christian Dark Ages where we're shitting in hay piles. So, I mean, how many times do we have to rewash and relearn things before it makes sense? And I think consciousness is kind of the same way. How many layers of consciousness do we go through until we understand things? How many layers of humanity are we going to go through till we understand things? So it's a simulation theory, but it would make more sense for it not to be controlled, but more of it to be watched. Because, like, do you remember the image that was released from that new telescope that showed, you know, just thousands and thousands and thousands of galaxies, exactly the same size as ours, if not bigger? What are the odds that those are also various other simulations that are existing simultaneously as us? But it's more of a rat race of who can figure things out first. You get it?
All right, Amanda, like, I know you want to say stuff. I can tell.
That's what I was trying to say in so many like different ways. So like what he was speaking of is like, as opposed to like time and everything being linear, like a line or like
it's not. Yeah,
exactly. So like it's nothing is linear. It is, yeah, like God, words don't have them. Adderall wears off at 6. Damn it.
Well, can I just say, like, you sounded so excited when you like called in. Like, I get like this, like these text messages, like in capital letters, like you're yelling at me through text messages to answer my phone. This is hilarious.
Literally, my entire like, I literally have hours of podcasts of different theories of things that I just go through and listen to and get involved. Like, I love this. I love all the theories. There's a theory going on right now about the pyramids and how they were built, that they were built from the top up instead of the bottom up. That it would make more sense of like how things were done like that. There's simulation theories, the matrix theory, the Mandela effect theories, the, you know, facial recognition theories, like all of the different things, like, and going into a multiple dimension theory just all goes into that things just aren't linear and nothing is linear. Everything's happening at the same time everywhere.
Wait, how's multiple dimension a theory? That's not a theory. There's no way. I refuse to believe that. Multiple dimensions?
No, multiple dimensions, planes. Yeah, no, that's actually kind of proven with science. I mean, we can't actually prove it, but it's beyond theory level, because if you just look at physics, it's very obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Einstein
in this time period.
Yeah, like Einstein's relativity. Excuse me, I can't speak. I mean, that even proved like a multi-dimensional, like curved. You know,
and then you get into time, because you were just talking about how, you know, rich people, the biggest thing they fear is death. We're not trying to cheat death. We're trying to cheat cellular reproduction, because like there's a breed of like there's a cellular makeup of a lobster. They cannot die of old age. They can't. They can only die from either not being able to molt properly, from being captured, obviously, but things along those lines. But lobsters, their cellular reproduction is the exact same speed as the death. So it always stays the same age. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But they're trying to capture that. Does time really exist if death is no longer an object? Because then are we moving linear, or are we just moving through it? There's actually a test that they just did. It's a very simple question. Okay, you ready?
Sure, why not?
So if today is Sunday, and we have a meeting on Wednesday. Okay, we already set this. We have a meeting on Wednesday. I text you. We need to move this meeting forward 2 days. What day is this meeting on?
Monday.
See? What? I thought Friday.
Exactly.
Same forward is a very broad statement.
No, if it's Sunday and the thing is Wednesday and you got to move it forward, you're moving it sooner, right?
Forward does not mean sooner or later. It just means forward. It's about your perception of time.
Yeah, it's the point of it being Monday, relative. It's relative to what your perception is.
Okay, I got
You see time as moving through you. If you thought Friday, you see yourself as moving through time.
Yep.
All of it is perception. And that's the same thing without clocks. Time is just a circadian rhythm.
And I was
It's just about
thinking,
what we do.
moving it forward on my calendar because it was probably a calendar invite. You know, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about the actual.
But this is just in general of the perception of time and death and how people are trying to cheat things. Infinity never stops or starts. It is infinite. So at the point that you're immortal, you no longer count for time.
All right. Well, Dustin, listen, you totally hijacked the show and we love you for it. Yeah, totally. It was awesome.
First off, I want to know
you're
why
our first call-in ever. Like, I'm so excited about this. And honestly, like, you are not like a public person. So the fact that you called and wanted to talk like on something that's going to be on YouTube for like the rest of our lives, just, I mean, can I just say how honored I feel?
I'm very passionate about. Like these are things that I have extensive knowledge on that I can talk about for hours. Like I'm always in for.
Oh my God! Like
stuff.
who is that comedian? Larry the cable guy. Like I remember him like calling into like 98 Rock. Like, are you gonna end up being our Larry for all these shows? Are you gonna call in?
Once you start bringing up Neil deGrasse Tyson, I am 100% involved. My whole heart is in it now.
Have you heard of him being like a pedophile or anything? Like, did you hear anything about this?
I don't know what it was. We don't need to.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna focus on his brain and not
we're in the theory of dimensions.
Okay. All right. Well, Dustin, thank you so much for calling in and racking us. I'm gonna have to think about so much that you said.
Always have fun. Invite me.
All right. Bye. That was hilarious. Like, oh my goodness. Like, yeah, Dustin does not speak publicly. Like he's like one of the shyest people in like the whole wide world. Like, okay, he's obviously not, but like he is at the same time, you know? But all right. So it's almost 10 o'clock. So any last thoughts or words from ZB on this whole simulation theory or quantum entanglement? Like, because we didn't even talk about like the whole physics and the Nobel Prize, and we never even got to that because how did like
that's totally different.
So we got to cover that another night now. I mean, I guess we're gonna have to at some point. Maybe not next week because we need to like talk about other stuff like motorcycles and other things like that. But like we will get back to the quantum entanglement at some point. I promise everybody. So because I do want to talk about this because like that is a whole nother topic. It really is. We could probably take up an hour for that. Which means you have to come back.
You're funny.
Oh, I know. Like you're so quiet. Like, what is wrong with you? So any last words, kiddo? Nope. You're like, just let me get the hell out of here.
It's my bedtime.
Well, yeah, sure. No, it's her time to go play video games. Go in her own simulated reality.
You mean a simulation?
Yes, of course. Ooh. Einstein did call like because we were supposed to be talking about entanglement. I just thought it was so cute. He called it like spooky action at a distance. Like he didn't believe in entanglement, but
that's fucking cute. I love that.
Spooky action at a distance. I guess I'll end with like a quote by Einstein like regarding entanglement. I guess that will come later, but he said like to someone, so what, do you think the moon just isn't there when we're not looking at it? So
yeah,
it's like there's a bear shit in the woods. Like, yeah.
What is that? What is the cat? Like the Schrodinger cat?
Schrodinger's cat. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like that is like it makes my brain hurt. Mike, why? have you ever heard of this cat?
Yeah.
No.
Probably not. Okay. So there's like this thought experiment, and I'm not going to do this justice at all. Do you want to talk about this cat experiment? Or
well, have you ever heard the joke like Schrodinger had two boxes, each one had a cat in it. He opened one and it was alive. He looked at the other box and cried. Well, it's because the other cat's dead. That's why he cried. But like basically entanglement.
It kind of talks like bases on like the quantum entanglement, you know, that the physicians just won for the Nobel Prize. So basically, like you have this cat in a bunker, okay, and in this bunker is like, what is it, like black powder or poison or something, depending on what scientists. I think Einstein liked the black powder and like Schrodinger liked poison. But anyway, it's a metaphorical thing. We're not actually putting a cat in the bunker. Nothing's happening to the cat, but you steal the bunker. So the odds of this cat being alive or dead is like 50-50. Okay. So until you look inside this bunker, the cat is apparently both in a state of being alive and being dead. It's both things at the same time. And to me, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, it can't be in both states. Like, it is one or the other. Just because us viewing it makes it real doesn't mean that it isn't have a reality of its own. You know, like, I get it when it comes to like,
that's something you really got to dive into to really kind of get in there, because it's more than just the cat. You know what I mean? I
know, like, I get when it comes to
so
like
much
subparticles. Like, when it comes to subatomic particles, I get it. Like, I understand that there's elements that, you know, are in two different states, and depending on when viewed, depends on how they are. Like, I get all that. But when it comes to all these particles making masses, I think that is completely different. I think
that actually kind of falls in line with that whole that Nobel Prize thing where we were supposed to talk about teleportation and things like that, because it has all to do with the particles and such.
All right, well, another time. So before we go, though, we have to let Mike talk. He has to vent about something, so we have to give him
absolutely we should
5 minutes of venting, maybe longer. We'll see how long his vent is.
It's okay. It shouldn't be very long. It's a quick one, and it's somewhat relative because of, you know, the three of us and our size differences and everything. So I read an article over Racing World. World Superbike teams are complaining because the guy that's winning he's 5'6.5" and 130 pounds, and they're saying he's winning because he's so little. It's harder for little people to ride big bikes because big bikes.
No.
Yeah. No.
It's leg strength, my dude.
Okay. Yes.
He does leg day. That's all it is.
But no, because they want to penalize him and have him have more weight on his bike because he's winning because he's smaller. Which, like, you can ask Danny Pedrosa, because Danny Pedrosa was a tiny little guy, and he got beat up by the bike and had to ride with broken bones all the time because bike is big. You know, they're 400 pounds and they're riding at a whole other level. Like, but like, being smaller isn't giving you an advantage to any other rider, especially at that level, because they're all, you know, like, equal in their riding abilities.
But this is definitely something that, I mean, this is interesting, because I got like two different things. Like, for one, like a jockey, you have the horse, you have the jockey, you try to find the smallest guy to ride the horse. Okay, obviously, because you want the smallest, lightest thing to ride this horse, because it's easier for the horse to drag around. But when a bike, you do have an opportunity to make the game more equal when it comes to weight, like, because you can make everybody weigh the same. You know,
no, because they're already giving the Ducatis, like, they all have different rev limits for different RPMs, because RPMs equal horsepower. So they're saying, okay, like, this bike, you know, the bikes, there's a minimum rider bike weight. They meet
for
that.
The rider?
For, like, the rider and the bike have to equal, they have to weigh at least a certain amount of poundage. So they're already adjusting ballast and stuff on the bike, and they're already changing, you know, what bikes can rev to try to make it more fair. And, you know,
okay, that's all fucking bullshit. Okay, because let me tell you, these are top level riders. That shit does not fucking matter, because let me tell you, you go through club racing and you have lightweights and heavyweights for most classes, and amateurs and experts and blah blah blah. So they're already going by your goddamn weight. You know what I mean? I'm in fucking, when I race minis.
That's but the weight, the classes like that is the size of the bike.
No, it's not. No, go to any CCS event. They have amateur fucking 600s who are lightweights and heavyweights and middleweights and shit. Fucking, I just spent my whole summer with fucking CCS, dude. Like, they have fucking weight classes. Fucking Mini MotoGP has weight classes too. I'm lightweight.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense on a little bike, but on a big bike, it doesn't matter. Like,
well, here's the thing. Now they've gotten to top level riding. That shit goes out the fucking window. And I don't give a fuck who you are. You're muscling a fucking 1000 around.
You're exactly. The bike, so regardless. A smaller person is going to have a harder time muscling a big ass 400-pound bike around the track at that speed. And, like, so I'm not
Yeah,
Like,
like
what-
William just said, weight helps in corners, question mark. Like less weight only helps on straight stretches.
Sure. I mean, I don't think weight matters. Get your ass off the bike. Period.
Well,
Just
but
get your
weight
ass
does
off the
matter
bike.
because okay,
It's
small
a whole
guy
lot
has
easier to move
small
130
guy
pounds around a
small guy
bike
has
than
to hang
200.
really far off the bike. Big guy just has to hang a little bit off the bike.
Exactly. You're just changing. That's physics. You're just changing where the weight is, you're changing the dynamic of where the weight is being. Just like, have you ever said, oh man, this bike's kind of front heavy? Like I was on an FRI. It's like front heavy when you're in a corner, right? So everybody's got the same fucking bikes or whatever. The weight distribution is different. So you're distributing whatever weight you have differently into a fucking corner. I don't give a fuck how much you weigh. As I don't. Have you ever watched the fucking junior cup riders lean off their bikes as opposed to somebody on a 1000 and they could be similar weights? People on the fucking 300s don't have to fucking lean off quite as much, if at all, right? But you go on the mini bikes, I don't have to fucking lean my weight off the bike at all. Like it hardly at all. You just
The bike
muscle
doesn't weigh anything. You just kind of.
Exactly. So the fuck.
Well, I know. That's it. So this is the same thing that like MotoGP was complaining about when Pedrosa was winning, because like on Pedrosa's time, I think he's like 5'5" or 5'4".
Yeah,
Like he's a tiny little guy. So
Stefano fucking Mesa, he's a tiny guy too, and he fucking whoops that CCS ass like all day long. He's usually light years fucking no pun intended. He wears Buzz Lightyear fucking leathers, which is funny, but like he's a fucking animal, dude. Fucking animal, but fucking races the 600s, the 1000. He's got both, and he still fucking does Moto America.
Well, that's just like when you at like top level, it's not like he's abnormally small. I mean, 5'6", 130, like that's a small guy, but it's not like it's not Amanda size.
Have you ever seen Stefano Mesa? He's about my fucking size.
Well,
No,
I'm saying
he's definitely thicker than you.
World Superbike.
Not by much. Huh. Oh yeah, I don't follow World Superbike. Honestly, I'm gonna be gay like that. I just wanted to be a dick.
But no, I read that and I was like, this is bullshit. Like this is like the second highest level that you can like be at in racing.
Yeah.
And they're bickering over, oh, he's lighter than me, so he's faster. Oh, like what the fuck, dude? Like grow up and just ride better. Get your bike set up better.
Just ride better. Fucking be a better rider. Put more fucking work in. That's all it takes.
Like,
I don't give a fuck what anybody
try working on explaining to your to your mechanics and crew chief what the bike's doing so you can make it go faster more easily for you.
Exactly. Like imagine hearing something like that in the Olympics, like with like what's the bobsled thing, or like even just running,
or like luging or something.
Yeah.
Like what about a bunch
hearing
of
that anywhere else?
That would never fly through fucking gymnastics. I can't fly off the bars because I'm not as small as her. My tits are bigger. First off, I got kicked off my gymnastics team because my tits got too big when I was a kid. I don't know what happened. They disappeared. But yeah, I fucking did competitive gymnastics. I would never fly in any other fucking sport. No way. Not a chance. She makes an excellent point. Yeah, it's not gonna fly. These are just fucking crybaby ass bitches who are fucking washed up and riding, and they don't want to put the work in, or they don't want to communicate with their crew. They just want to be crybaby ass whiny man bitches. Put a woman on there, it would never fucking happen. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm not into like male or female bullshit, but like women are just naturally excellent riders structurally. Like from your riding, like your strength is hips, their core down, really. We have excellent legs. There's no reason why women are fucking top level riders. That's all I'm saying.
It's because we're top heavy.
Not
but
all
you don't have
of
to lean
us.
off. You don't have to lean off the bike as much. Then you just kind of just flop them over.
Listen, that's fucking funny. Could you imagine your tits smacking a tank? I don't have big boobies. I got little boobies, so I couldn't imagine like.
I've smacked my nuts off a tank. I know that doesn't feel very pleasant, so I imagine tits.
I don't know. My leather suit is so tight. Like I actually had expansion panels put in to give me a little bit more breathing room, but it's still so tight. It is so tight. I'm like, when I lean over, it's a lot better now, but when I'm still standing, it's like, oh, so tough.
It's so funny you say that because like when I'm on my tank, usually by the end of like if I do like a double track day or something, my sternum is sore from being on because I'm on the tank or I'm on the side. And oh my god, this is actually a funny story. So when I went and rode minis on Sunday at we were on Liberator at NJMP. So we were at that one. I first off, I did one lap first thing in the morning and I went down in the first turn because mini bikes, I fucking go down in the first session all the time. But I was my bike went out from under me like a fucking skateboard. And I look up and I'm dead center of the corner, dead center of the track, face down, facing opposite. So bikes are coming to me. And I look up and I'm like, this is how it ends. I see two bikes coming at me and they go around me. But like I noticed the point of the story was I was face down on pavement. And the next day I was like, dang, my fucking chest hurts. Like, because I have no tits. So like it's right on my ribs and my sternum. Like I don't have anything to really cushion anything. It's just I hit sternum.
I don't know, Amanda. That shirt's saying that you definitely have some tits.
This is a push-up bra because I was self-conscious about my little boobies last time. Dude, there's no shame in my little booby game. Like I have no boobies. Have you ever seen me in my suit? I look like Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy. It's great. I look like a boy.
Oh, there's more of this too. We got sidetracked there a little bit. So he also has a neck tattoo, and there's actually been more controversy this year about tattoos because Aaron Kanat in Moto 2 is saying that he can't, like, he's having a hard time getting picked up by MotoGP. Like MotoGP teams have denied him because he's a very heavily tattooed person, like, you know, pretty much neck down, covered in tattoos. And he's saying, you know, MotoGP teams are denying him from, you know, moving up because of his tattoos. And Quadraro, you know, said that he can see that because it's you know, there's an image that, you know, top athletes are supposed to have, and which is kind of bullshit too. Because
wait, who said that?
Advertisements. A lot of people probably do.
Quartararo, because he's got a full sleeve and he's got like.
So does Cornette or what's his name? Fuck.
Listen, okay, so like, you know my opinion on this. If you get tattoos where you can't cover them up, that is your own fault, and you cannot hate on anybody for turning you down. Like I remember when I was younger, like I had full sleeves on both arms by the time I was 23. All right. And I remember somebody wanted to interview me because they wanted to talk about like tattoos in the workplace and my stance. And my thing was, don't go get stupid tattoos where people can see them. Like you always need the option to be able to.
But what
you get a tattoo on your neck, you get tattoos on your hand, then guess what? You're going to reap
like a tattoo doesn't, like, as long as it's not like you know, I eat pussy on your hand or something, like, you know,
no, that would
like
get you
you
hired
like a you know,
yes.
What's it?
But see,
like,
this is the thing. This is
it's not
point.
like tattoos are unprofessional. It's not
Okay, stop
it anymore.
This was my point. This is my point. Okay. So I want you to imagine for a second, say you are an employer or you're a MotoGP crew and you got two guys and they both have tattoos on their neck. One guy has a bunch of pretty beautiful flowers and hearts and it's just lovely. And the other guy has a big monster skull and naked ladies on it. Who is to say what is acceptable art? You can't judge. You can't, I mean, you can't, both of them have to be denied because you can't choose the hearts and the flowers over like the naked ladies and the demon face. Like you just, whose place is it to judge art and what is acceptable?
Well, I mean, if he's Italian, he can have naked women because that's completely okay there.
Oh yeah, like in Germany. I was traumatized by the billboards. I remember seeing
my head went to like the statues, like and paintings of like naked women.
Well, I just remember there was a billboard, it was a vodka billboard, and there was a guy in a suit with a glass of vodka, and there's a completely naked woman with her tits hanging out on this billboard in Germany. And I was like, my first response was, because Sammy was so little, she wasn't there, but I was like, oh my god, the children, like hide the boobies.
Culture, man.
But
No.
it just made me realize how sheltered we are as Americans.
No, but then my head like went to like museums in like Europe, and like you see like you go into a museum, you see tons of naked ladies, you see statues of dicks on them. So it's like, why does the context? Why does something that's
Well,
painted with a
well,
beautiful
that's-
gold frame?
that's a whole
Americans
different
are just super
society.
prude about nudity. Like that's just, you know.
America's just fucking dumb in that respect because like you go like she's saying statues and things like that, like those were Greek, Roman times, freaking the Egyptian times, like ancient history where it was cool to walk around naked.
I met a girl in Spain. I got to see her titties before I even knew her name. It was fantastic.
Wonderful.
It was fantastic.
We need more nudie beaches. I'm not getting nudie, but I want to see nudies.
Are you kidding me? I just actually read an article about how nude beaches, like young people aren't going to them because of social media. So like if you go there now, it's just the old people that don't care. But like young people are so worried that their images are going to end up on the internet that they are not going to nude beaches anymore. Now maybe it's different it's different in Europe, but Americans are.
The nude beach I went to in Spain, there's nobody there I really wanted to see naked.
Oh,
Now, the regular beaches, the topless ones, like I don't know what's in the water in Spain, but holy moly, fantastic. But the girl's Portuguese. I mean, same thing.
Same
who the hell
region.
cares? Hot with the accent. Oh, yes, please.
I don't like accents.
What? Who are you, dude?
I
Not
don't know,
even a good Southern accent, like a real good.
Dude,
like
he makes fun of the way I say words. Are you kidding me? I'm sure he probably
Water.
is. I say water normal.
too.
And thanks to Mike, now I have to say wash okay too. I can't like say it like my mom and my dad say it.
what?
I have to consciously say
You don't
wash.
wash with water anymore.
I do not wash with water anymore.
Bro, he would like, dude. Don't ever take me down south because I get
You know
like
what's
a really.
what's
heavy-
funny though? You know what's funny though? He did have a thing for Jersey girls though. I mean, and they all talk funny.
Dude, we all talk like shit. Like, do not be hot with my accent. Sucks. I miss the country accent. I freaking hid that all my life, and now it just comes back when I go down south.
All right. So anything else about this World Superbike or anything else we want to talk about before we say goodbye to everybody?
World Superbike,
No.
they're a bunch of pussies. Watch Moto America. Fuck that shit.
You can't say that because Ducati's literally, well, not Ducati, but a team that has Ducati's literally challenged multiple
Times this
bullshit
year.
things for no reason, just because they were losing and because they had the money to do it. So
Yeah, like
But-
poor Rocco's like family, man. Like the money they had to shell to get that engine put back together.
Rocco who? Rocco fucking
Landers.
Landers? No,
It was Landers, wasn't
Let
it?
me tell you something about
Wasn't
Rocco
it? Am I thinking of
Landers.
the right person, or is it just too late?
No.
and
Rocco Landers is usually the family that does that to other people, by the way. So if he had it done to him, he deserved it, which I'm
No.
pretty sure he did at some point.
it
He
was
deserved
Davies
Oh.
that had to do it.
Okay, yes, but it was probably Rocco's family. Mind you,
No,
this is
it
the
wasn't.
kid.
It was
This time?
it was Warhorse.
Oh, well, fuck them too. That's even better. There you go. But I mean, I was gonna say Rocco.
And then Warhorse also freaking at Laguna Seca, what's his name, pushed that guy, like ran him off the track, and then he went off like into the like how they paved that part of the corkscrew because everyone keeps running off there. He ran off there, got back on, ended up winning the race, and then they challenged him because for exceeding track limits. They're like they end up kicking it out because they're like, you pushed, like where else was he supposed to go? Like you made a pass that wasn't a very clean pass, pushed him off the track. Like you're lucky he didn't, he's lucky he didn't crash. Got back on, like no, like he didn't exceed track limits. You gave him, like, you pushed him off the track essentially. But
Yeah, no, dude.
But, like,
annoyed.
I love motorcycle racing. I love it. But
Absolutely.
at the professional level, the politics in it is just
The
outrageous.
politics in track day riding is fucking ridiculous too. Trust me. It's politics in general. It all sucks.
I'm glad I haven't had to experience any drama anywhere yet. So
You will eventually.
I'm still having way too much fun. No, I honestly, like, I don't deal with drama. I don't like let it. I don't get involved with it.
I
Like,
don't either.
I'm of the mindset if somebody doesn't like me, then that's their problem. It's not mine. Like they can
No,
say whatever
I
they
don't have
want about me.
Do you
I
think it's all
just-
the forced fen drama you've gotten yourself like into, and yet you've
and-
avoided drama in this sphere?
All right,
Like,
so I may have made fun of a couple people, okay, but then I just block them and I ignore them, okay. And to all any far as fun people who are watching, which I know there's a couple out there, like I don't get involved in the drama.
so you
Somebody-
make a fire and then you just run.
I mean, okay, so there was a particular person who would love me and be so nice to me one day, and then the next day she would go on a rant, spreading lies about me and just going off. And like she would do this live on YouTube, and she would like just bash me for hours. Did I ever go live about her and complain about her? No. Like I might have messaged UK Adam and like, you know, kind of vented to him a little bit, but like never publicly said anything about her. Not in a negative context anyway. So no, I don't do drama. If people have time for drama, good for them. I'm too busy living life and loving life and doing amazing things. I don't have time for drama, especially people drama. Like listen, like my oldest daughter, Sammy, who passed away, like she brought so much drama to my life, our lives. She brought so much drama. Like, so like, yeah, no, I'm not doing drama ever again. Like it's whatever. Done. Yep. Anyway, all right, so let's say goodnight, guys. All right, so everybody who's watching or will watch it in the future, thank you so much for tuning in and coming out to support us. We really appreciate you. Please, if you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to follow all three of us, because Zeshan does not want you to follow her anywhere.
Cash App.
Just a Cash App. Send her money. Don't follow her. Just send her money. Yeah, just follow us on our social media accounts. We have Stay Fast and Weird on Instagram and TikTok, twistyrider over on Instagram, myself, odioussoul, everywhere possible now, thanks to freaking TikTok. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a good night, and I will figure out which screen I have to end this. Oh, here we are. Bye.
Okay, I ran away.